Hello and welcome to a new video where I will share you about my illustration tradition. As you can see, I have redrawn this same illustration for 2-3 years. I skipped 2021 but I started this in 2020. Let's begin the 2024 illustration. I started off with this sketch, and this year is the first time I'm breaking up the illustration a bit different. All the 3 years I have written November, but this time I wanted to group the NOV together and just have some fun. And you can see I wrote 25 because it's my 25th birthday, so I just try to add these tiny elements in my illustration. For the lettering, I went with a bold style, which is just hugging all the illustration around. I am now just finalizing the lettering to make all the shapes of the letters even more perfect. When I started this in 2020, I did not have an action plan that I will be redrawing this illustration every year, but back in 2022, I had this idea that maybe I should just redraw an old artwork, and I feel like this actually helps you see every year how you have changed as an artist, because if you see the current illustration on the small screen versus the one that I'm creating right now, you can already see there is a huge difference in style, textures, and illustration choices. By the way, I have moved on to coloring and adding textures to my illustration. My process usually, if you watch my videos, are a mix of real-time illustration processes and sped-up versions. That way it gives you a clarity on how my illustration process works in real time, otherwise it will be a really long video. Anyway, coming back to this illustration tradition of mine, I feel like this is a very great way to look back on really old artworks and see what you can improve and how you can improve in your current art style. Every year we make so much art, and as artists we grow so much, and looking back at the current art style, I feel like it is such a nice thing to look back and see how much you've improved and what kind of things you like now versus you don't like. I seek inspiration from the previous illustration, of course, but then I see where are some areas where I can improve and show what I do as of now as an artist. You will see that I have eliminated the party hat completely because I don't know, it just felt like I didn't need that anymore and I did not resonate with the illustration itself. But then I added this vintage birthday cake, which is also inspired by my bullet journal theme. So I feel like additions and subtractions like this in your design style whenever you are redrawing something really reflects on how you've grown as an artist. One thing I feel like mentioning also is that when we redraw, we are definitely seeing improvement in our current art, but then that does not mean that we don't fall in love with the previous years of illustrations that we have created. For example, the 2024, which is the current one, I am loving the color palette so much, especially these illustrations of cakes, cupcakes, is what I am much more in love with than the previous year. But the 2023 lettering is something I am still so obsessed with. I love the style, the brown color, and this just goes to show that even though you may not completely change from your previous year, some illustration elements still carry along as artists, and that is a beautiful thing to experience when you redraw something from the past. I have been loving to draw cakes recently, especially these vintage style cakes. Other than drawing, I even like to watch some cake decorating videos where they pipe the buttercream so satisfyingly in their baking videos. To streamline the process and make it a bit easier, if you saw, I did duplicate a lot of illustration elements so that I don't have to redraw the same thing over and over again. And that's the same thing I did with this cake. As you see, I will just adjust the sizing a little bit to make it seem fit in the illustration. The main parts of the illustrations are over, so now I'm adding confetti and filling in all the negative spaces that are left in the illustration, and my redrawing for the year of 2024 will be complete. If you've been watching my digital art process since a while, you always know that I add my logo as the final touch so that it prevents from being copied and it shows that I made it. Alright, the illustration is complete and I'm so happy with this year's redraw of this illustration. I posted the art on Instagram, which you can check in the link in description. I think even you should have your own art tradition to improve every year. I will see you soon in another video. Bye.